Hey guys, Megan from A Travel to You Zoo here. Today we're going to learn about turtles. I have 4 turtles. 3 of them are red-eared sliders, and 1 of them is a pink belly, yellow side neck. So, let's get right into it. Let's meet all the turtles. Start with Phoebe. As mentioned, Phoebe is a pink belly, yellow side neck turtle. She's about 4 years old, and I'd say she's pretty close to full grown. She's about 10 inches. They are native to North America, and they're a pretty common turtle. I almost said snake. They're a pretty common turtle in the hobby. Just look at her. She looks like she has a permanent smile. Next up, we have Gertrude. Now, Gertrude is a red-eared slider, and she is massive. She's, again, about 10 inches. She's about 12 to 13 years old, and she is just thriving. She's a very, very friendly turtle. I've really worked with her a lot. When I first got her, she was a little bit bitey, and she did get me a few times. I'll tell you what, turtle bites hurt. Don't recommend. So anyways, red-eared sliders are also found in North America. They live for about 20 to 30 years, so she's certainly a lifelong commitment, which I wouldn't want to have it any other way. I really do have a soft spot for turtles. Gertrude was well taken care of in a setting before I got her. Next 2 turtles we're going to talk about are my other 2 red-eared sliders. One is Simone, and one is Betty. Now, these 2 turtles I really do consider my rescue turtles. The situation they came from was not ideal, and I feel as though I did give them a chance to have a better, suitable life in my little zoo. So let's meet Betty and Simone. Meet Betty first. This is Betty. She definitely has the most attitude, I'd say, out of all the turtles I have. I have been working with her, but she definitely is still a little bitey. As you can see, I don't trust her yet at all. So I'm a little crazy. I like to risk the biscuit, but in reality, she could definitely snap me. So I want to start with Betty to show you a little bit about why I consider these turtles my rescue. The first thing I want to talk about is her shell. You can tell just from looking at this video right here that her shell is not in great shape. She has a fungus bacterial infection. Basically, what causes this is them not having a proper setup. They need water, of course. They are semi-aquatic turtles, so they need water and they need dry land to bask. Woo! Careful, Betty. Without that dry land, their shell does not dry out and does not get rid of that fungus and bacteria that causes these issues. She's getting a little squirmy there, so I'll keep her short. If you look at her belly as well, her underneath is also not very healthy. So, while she still eats, swims around, happy, does get out and bask now, I have been doing some stuff to try and help her shell. So one of the biggest things to help her shell is betadine. Now, I would like to get into some more details on that in future videos. So if you would like to see some videos that outline how to help with shell rot, then hit the like button and I'll certainly take a look, and I'll look at doing some videos like that in the future. So this is Betty. She is a happy girl, but she is suffering from some shell rot, so we are working to improve that. Alright, so we're going to start with Simone's shell, the top part of her shell. As you can see, she has a few spots like Betty did, but in comparison, her shell is definitely nowhere near as bad. Now, if you look at her belly, this is what a red-eared slider's belly, minus my hair on her, should look like. It should be that nice bright yellow, and there shouldn't be any of that kind of rot or fungus-looking stuff on it. Now, I think it's definitely really important to say, this stuff is not contagious or harmful to humans in any way. So me handling her and touching her spots and things like that is not going to cause any harm to me. In terms of Betty and Simone, I actually don't know a whole lot about their history. All I know is they were in small aquariums, they didn't have the proper lighting, and they didn't have proper filtration or anything like that. Turtles are very much like fish, where they need a heater, they need a filter, they need some kind of substrate, so big rocks, sand. You have to be careful with sand, though. And they need all the basics. So we're going to talk more later on in this video about the specific habitats for these turtles. I keep semi-aquatic, so Gertrude, Betty, Phoebe, and Simone right here are all semi-aquatic turtles. So we're going to jump into more details about that in a few minutes. I'll see you there. Welcome back. We are heading outside here for a minute just to check on the little zoo. I can hear them all screaming at me. So as you can see here, we've got my dog. Hey, sweetie. The bird's coming up to say hi. The goat. It's time for everybody to eat. So I'm going to take a quick break and feed the zoo. I'll be right back. We're just going to add a little bit of this on the ground for everybody. Alright guys, we're going to head back inside and we're going to keep talking about the turtles. We are back inside and we're going to get right back into the turtles. I want to start with a pink belly side neck turtle, and that is Phoebe. And Phoebe hangs out right next to me here. She has a few fish in with her as well. Fish with turtles are generally a trial and error thing. Some people really recommend against not putting fish with turtles because turtles are very messy. However, I haven't had issues. My turtles have been very nice to the fish. They haven't tried to eat them, which is generally the big concern. But if you do have fish that you really don't want to get eaten by your turtle, then I do recommend not trying it because it can happen. Anyways, we're going to talk about temperature. In terms of the pink belly, yellow side neck, they're pretty adaptable when it comes to temperature. Some people keep them in a cooler tank and some people keep them in a warmer tank, but generally they are fine with anything that's between about 18 to about 26 degrees. I keep my tank about 22, 23, and that is because I have some tropical fish in there and they need to have that warmer temperatures. Talk about lighting. So semi-aquatic turtles need two types of lights. They need a UVB bulb, which is the stuff that we naturally get from the sun, and a heat bulb. It's important they have both of these lights. The UVB bulb helps to keep their shell healthy. It absorbs all that light and all that natural stuff that they need to really be happy and healthy. The heat is to dry out their shell so that they can shed. Turtles have what's called scutes. Now, scutes are those little things that are right on top of their shells. They're all individually shaped. And if you look, these scutes are pretty big. Now, turtles shed those scutes using that basking light. So what I always recommend to turtle owners is to create a above tank basking area. That way, your tank can be filled to the brim with aquarium water, and you can add a basking area to the top. The turtles simply just climb up. So if you look at this right here, this is an example of a basking area with two types of lights. She has her heat bulb and she has her UV bulb. So tank size. Generally the rule of thumb that I have read, and I think it's probably relatively accurate, is that for every inch of your turtle, you should have 10 gallons of water. Now that's an inch, 10 gallons. That's a lot to really think about. So Phoebe's 10 inches, she has a 110 gallon tank. A turtle, relatively, if you have a turtle in a 55 gallon tank by itself, and that turtle is under 10 inches, you're probably okay. Now that being said, if you're using a 55 gallon tank and you're not filling it to the brim and you're only filling it, 6-7 inches, that's not okay. You need way more water for that turtle. And last, I've saved the best part, at least in my opinion, and I imagine in the turtles' opinions too. The best part is feeding. What do we feed our turtles? We're going to start with their staple diet. Now, as I said, these guys are a semi-aquatic turtle. They need to eat while they're in the water, so their main diet are pellets. You can get these at any pet store. They have a lot of different kinds. I am almost out. Feeding 4 turtles is expensive. So I'm almost out of this. I'll have to pick up some more. This is their main diet. I feed them this every day. The second part of their diet, which I usually get them for a treat, but recently they've been having it almost every day because they're very spoiled, are shrimp. This is an absolute favorite for these turtles. They stink though when you open it up. It's a nasty smell, but the turtles absolutely love them. Other things I feed my turtles are live. So things like live fish, I'll get minnows, I'll feed them things like that. I will also feed them mealworms, which this container is full of mealworms. Superworms, this container is full of superworms. I also will feed them hornworms when I feel like it, because hornworms are expensive, but they are a favorite. And I will also feed them crickets and sometimes night crawlers. So the last thing we're going to do in this video is we're actually going to feed these turtles. I'm going to start by just showing you how they eat their pellets and their shrimp. But then we are also going to do a live feeding, and I will give you ample warning if you choose not to stay for that part of the video. So to start, we're going to feed them pellets. So we will start with the pellets. There's fish and turtle in here, so as you can imagine, the fish tend to steal a lot of the food. So I do tend to overfeed a little bit to make sure that everybody gets fed. I feed specific fish food and specific turtle food. As you can see, they're pretty excited, so I'm just going to go ahead and dump this right in, and we're going to watch them eat. You're going to see everybody swarm here. It's pretty cool to watch. So we're going to go ahead and dump that in. We will do the red shrimp. Now, as I said, this stuff is gross. I'm pretty used to the odor, but it isn't the most pleasant thing. So I'm going to actually hand feed these guys. I want you to see what it's like to hand feed these turtles. It's pretty easy. Generally speaking, they're pretty well adapted to coming up and eating from my hands. It takes a minute or two to realize it's there most of the time. Once they realize it's there, they chomp away. And I will do the same thing, and I will hand feed Phoebe a piece of shrimp here. She will come right over once she realizes I have it. They're pretty smart when it comes to food. Now I have to be cautious because the fish will try to take it, and I don't want to get my fingers bitten by either of them. Oh, and I dropped it. Alright, so here we are trying it again because I dropped it, and one of the fish snagged it. So we're going to try to feed Phoebe here. Once they realize you have it, they are pretty quick. We are now going to feed them live, so if you choose to leave at this point of the video, I thank you for coming. Please hit the like and the subscribe button, and I hope to see you in the next video. But if you want to see the live feeding, then please stay right here, and we're going to show you that in just a minute. So that's going to do it for today's video, guys. If you enjoyed seeing the turtles, meeting Phoebe, Gertrude, Simone, and Betty, then definitely stick around because you're going to meet all of the other animals we have here at a Travel to You Zoo. If you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, sub, turn notifications on, and we will see you in the next video.